Tonight in 9 News, major breach. Victoria on high alert after 2 German travellers skip hotel quarantine in Sydney. The Premier unveils our new normal. 30 visitors to homes from midnight and dance floors fire up again as masks become optional in most settings. 2 people in custody and another on the run after a man was shot dead in Oakley. Relatives return to the scene of the Point Cook fire tragedy as the community pays tribute to the young family lost. And an international spacecraft touches down in the Australian outback.
This is 9 News with Alicia Loxley.
Good evening. On the eve of Victoria's new hotel quarantine scheme, a major bungle has allowed 2 German travellers straight into Victoria without quarantining. 174 people are now sweating on COVID test results for the pair after they shared a flight with them from Sydney to Melbourne. Laura Turner reports.
As security tightens around a new round of quarantine hotels, what could have been another COVID catastrophe. A German woman and her son avoiding quarantine in Sydney.
Waiting to get on a bus to go to hotel quarantine. Next minute, they're not in that queue.
The pair managing to board a Virgin flight to Melbourne on Saturday afternoon.
They had a conversation with an officer, and during that conversation, there's been a misunderstanding and a lack of communication. And it was thought by the police officer that there was actually an exemption in place.
Passengers who travelled with them are furious.
The reason why I'm so angry is, as I say, I'm down here to see a newborn baby, 7-8 days old, and potentially I could have infected him.
All 174 of them, along with staff from Virgin flight VA838, are now in forced isolation.
Because of the incubation, there is some significant challenges still for the 176 people who were on that flight.
Sunil was on the Tokyo-Sydney leg of the flight and thinks he was in the queue behind the German mother and son.
He mentioned to the officers and the military staff that they're going to Melbourne, and they said, oh, well, you're in the wrong place. It was as easy and as smooth as that.
The mood at Tullamarine today, anger.
Dumbfounded how it actually happens.
Small business has absolutely been put through the ringer, and for this to happen is just not acceptable.
And the million-dollar question.
How does it happen? Honestly, how does that happen?
Did they lie or did they mistakenly?
No, they're certainly not. We're not suggesting that they lied. There was a language barrier, there was communication issues.
Victorian authorities have already informed all close contacts of those on the flight. And the net for this breach is being cast even wider than that. Now, anyone who passed through Terminal 3 here at Melbourne Airport on Saturday afternoon is being asked to monitor themselves for COVID symptoms.
We've seen firsthand through the Ruby Princess debacle just how very, very quickly a small mistake in quarantine can quickly turn into a nightmare for the community.
And Laura Turner joins us now live. Laura, how was the pair caught?
Well, believe it or not, Alicia, it was just by chance. A security guard on the ground here at Tullamarine actually saw this German mother and son walk out of the terminal with their bags. He says that they looked lost, so he approached them and, well, heard their story and realised the litany of errors that had taken place. That's when he handed them over to authorities, and they're now quarantining in the hotel here behind me at the airport. Meantime, they have already done a test for COVID-19. The good news is it has come back negative. So now all of those passengers who are on that flight with them and the Virgin staff as well are waiting on the results from another COVID-19 test. We're hoping for those results to come back tomorrow. If they come back negative, they'll all be free to go. Alicia?
All right, let's hope so. OK, Laura Turner, thank you. Well, it's not quite normal, but it's the closest Victoria will get to it for the foreseeable future. Mandatory mask rules and the removal of people limits at venues, weddings, funerals and religious gatherings were among the big changes announced by the Premier today. Reid Butler explains.
We've always had faith this day would come.
It's a testament to all the efforts of so many people. We can be sufficiently open to welcome good numbers.
The character that has been shown across this state is inspiring.
From tomorrow, there'll be no caps on guests at religious gatherings, weddings and funerals. A 1 person per 2 square metre rule applies though, and while still a step forward, that restriction poses a problem for smaller chapels.
A lot of families are disappointed, thinking they can have an endless number of people now with them. but that actually isn't the case because of the square meterage.
Instead of waiting until the middle of the month for that extended family get-together, from tomorrow up to 100 people will be able to gather outdoors and 30 people can visit your home.
That's not 30 for lunch and 30 for dinner. That's 30 across the day.
Mask rules have been significantly relaxed. They won't be mandatory in most settings, including offices, but you must carry one for when you do need to wear it, like at the supermarket or on public transport. The hospitality sector has plenty to celebrate too. Standing service will be allowed from tomorrow. And there's no cap on patrons, with density limits shifting to one person per 2 square metres. For smaller venues, there'll be no spacing requirements. Nightclubs too will be able to reopen from midnight.
It's been 8 months since March when we had the first lockdown, and we're really excited to be back up and running soon.
Dance floors will be empty no more, and that's at clubs and weddings. One person per 4 square metres will be able to have a boogie on the dance floor with a maximum of 50 people. Here at the Club Emerson in South Yarra, the floor space is around 40 square metres, so that means 10 people will be able to have a dance at any one time.
There will also be enforcement. There will be enforcement from WorkSafe, from local government, and from our hundreds of authorised officers out there.
For indoor sports, there'll be a 1 person per 4 square metre rule. Gyms and exercise classes will be limited to 50 people. Outdoor sport is capped at 100 people. Indoor non-seated entertainment can run at 50% capacity, capped at 1,000 people. Outdoor non-seated entertainment has a 1 person per 2 square metre rule. Seated entertainment venues, both indoor and outdoor, can have up to 75% fixed seat capacity with a maximum of 1,000 people, but still no clarity on big outdoor sporting events.
We're into summertime. In Victoria, that means Boxing Day Test. That means the T20s. It means the Australian Open. We have no idea how those events are going to be able to operate.
There'll be no caps on community venues like libraries and pools, and as 2021 gets underway, more office workers will be able to return. From January 11, 50% of the private workforce can go back to the office, 25% of public service workers can return.
We have kept the public service at home so as to favour the private sector, to give them more room to get back to that COVID-safe summer.
And Reid Butler is in Richmond tonight. Reid, pubs are among the big winners here, but there is a catch.
Yes, Alicia, that much-needed 1 person per 2 square metre rule, which in some cases will allow venues to more than double their capacity tomorrow, is only legal if those venues have a mandatory electronic check-in system, like a QR code check-in system like this one. Those venues still using pen and paper to check patrons in will need to upgrade or be forced to operate at 1 person per 4 square metres, so that is an incentive to upgrade that technology. Here at the Prince Alfred Hotel in Richmond, from tomorrow they'll finally be able to operate pretty much at full capacity, which is excellent news. And I'm told that one of the other big welcome changes from today's announcement is the relaxing of the no standing rule. That's great news for staff who don't need to keep telling patrons to sit down, and great news for patrons who enjoy standing up at the bar, having a beer and a bit of a chinwag. Thank you. Cheers, Alicia.
Certainly is. Enjoy. All right, Reid, thank you. Well, from office workers to bar staff, Victorians are just hours away from a mask reprieve, with the rules mandating our faces must be covered significantly relaxing from midnight. Stephanie Anderson explains.
After months of masking up, Melbourne is a big step closer to once again showing its face.
It's about time. We haven't got any cases for the last more than 30 days.
It's great to actually see people smiling now.
From midnight tonight, the rules will roll back, meaning a mask is mandatory only when you're on public transport, in an Uber or taxi, at an indoor shopping centre or market, supermarket or department store.
For instance, Kmart or Myer, IKEA, Bunnings, JB Hi-Fi. If there is a case, if there is an outbreak, that will simply make the job of contact tracing easier.
For office workers across the state, it's a cautious green light to go without any covering.
It's still highly recommended, but you're not required to.
As I work in an office, I thought, fantastic, we don't have to wear masks in the office.
The option to be mask-free will also apply to those dining or working in restaurants, cafes and pubs, as well as customers getting pampered in beauty and hair salons. But the Premier wants those delivering the services to keep up the status quo.
We would anticipate that staff would continue to wear those face masks That just makes common sense.
For the final weeks of the academic year, masks aren't mandatory but are strongly advised in our schools, and at the airport they'll still be required inside. The recommendation across the board: cover up if you can't stay apart.
These are all insurance policies for what might happen should a case enter Victoria.
While you no longer have to wear it everywhere, you do have to carry one. The Premier and health officials still urging Victorians to keep a face mask on them at all times in case a situation crops up where you can't social distance.
Everyone must carry a mask. Unless you've got a medical exemption, everyone must carry a mask for those occasions.
And many seem willing to hold on to the accessory that sums up 2020 if it means we can face the world without it faster.
If we don't have any cases like we are for the next 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm sure we're getting to the point where we start removing them altogether.
Stephanie Anderson, 9 News.
A Footscray man has been shot dead in front of his girlfriend. Police say the couple was attending a small gathering in Oakley last night when it took a deadly turn. Maggie Rayworth reports.
Arrested and escorted from this Oakley South building. With bags covering their hands, these men were taken into custody. It's at this apartment complex a 40-year-old Footscray man was shot dead.
Everyone's known to each other and we're certainly looking at this as a targeted attack.
Last night, the victim and his partner were attending a small party. Tonight, 2 people are in custody. No charges have yet been laid. The victim's partner is assisting police. Investigators say one more person is on the run.
From the persons that witnessed this offence is that one person who is yet to be identified fled the scene.
Police believe the shooter used a handgun in the deadly attack. Behind this complex is a large quarry. That's where police believe the weapon may have been dropped. They're conducting a large search of the area. The 40-year-old's white ute was still parked outside. All 4 tyres have been deflated.
So that has been treated as a secondary crime scene and processed accordingly.
CCTV will play a crucial role in the investigation, and police hope witnesses will come forward, with the exact circumstances surrounding the man's death still unknown.
It's a very quiet complex, and I was pretty shocked to learn that something major must have taken place.
Maggie Rayworth, 9 News.
A fire has broken out at a major military facility in central Victoria, sending black plumes of smoke across the base. The blaze destroyed Pakapunyal Primary School and is being treated as a crime scene until a cause is determined. The Department of Defence says 250 students attend the school and its loss will impact the community heavily. The heartbroken parents of a young mother killed in a house fire at Point Cook have paid tribute to their daughter at a touching memorial. Abby Forrest's mother described the 19-year-old as glowing, reminding others to hug their children. Elizabeth Moss has the story.
Overcome with emotion, a family's unimaginable grief is laid bare. Alan and Elizabeth Forrest will never get to see their granddaughter grow up.
I really am lost for words. I just can't speak things anymore.
Their daughter Abby died alongside her partner Inderpal Singh and their 19-day-old baby girl Ivy when fire tore through their Point Cook townhouse.
I spoke to her the night before and she said, "Love you, Mum. I'll talk to you tomorrow."
An entire community shattered. Today they came together to farewell the young family with balloons and bubbles. A never-ending stream of neighbours and strangers bringing toys, flowers and messages of love to their door.
The love and care of people, just giving their condolences, walking down the street, it's been absolutely beautiful.
They'd only just moved into the house with their newborn daughter.
She's glowing. Words can't explain or how she was with her young daughter. She's beautiful.
She just was going to make up a nursery for Ivy and just to have them, it's just tragic.
This tree's been planted at the park nearby the home as a permanent memorial to the young parents who should have been watching their baby daughter grow up here.
There's a lovely note attached to it and it's been laminated so it won't get ruined by the weather. It'll stay on the tree forever. That was such a touching thing to do.
The community now raising funds for their funeral and 2 families wishing they had time to say goodbye.
Hug your children because you're not supposed to bury your children. So give them a hug and let them know that you love them. Because you never know when you'll see them again.
Elizabeth Moss, 9 News.
A foreign agreements veto bill looks set to pass federal parliament, again spotlighting Canberra's distrust of China. It would give the Commonwealth power over international deals struck by states, councils and universities. Political editor Chris Ullman.
This perky kiddies ditty
The belt connects to land, the road moves on the sea.
is state-based propaganda for China's multi-trillion-dollar building plan to connect Asia and Europe by land and sea, with spurs into Africa and the Indo-Pacific, which some defence experts warn is a giant strategic threat. The Federal Coalition and Labor have ruled out joining this chorus.
We have said we would not sign up to the BRI.
But Victoria did.
We have many, many different MOUs with hospitals, with universities, with research institutes, with provincial governments and with the central government.
With Canberra locked in a bitter struggle with Beijing, the Commonwealth wants to assert its constitutional right over foreign affairs, with a new law to give it veto power over any deal struck between any foreign government and councils, states or institutions here, giving it the right to tear up Victoria's Belt and Road Agreement.
And that's entirely a matter for the federal parliament.
We support the objectives and we've supported the legislation.
Federal Labor has picked a small fight, backing an amendment allowing for a judicial review of any veto, but the bill is likely to pass tomorrow without change.
Now that the Minister has the power, it's time for sensible discussions with the Victorian Government.
The Morrison government won't publicly tear up Victoria's Belt and Road Agreement, but quietly bury it as Canberra tries to calm the stormy relationship with Beijing.
I think we all understand that China has a very different view about what it wants from Australia than what we are prepared to give, regardless of who's in government.
Chris Ullman, 9 News.
All right, now with a look ahead to tonight's sport, here is Corey Norris.
Thank you, Alicia. Good evening tonight. The latest from the Australian squatters. Mitchell Starc is granted compassionate leave, but no concerns with our pace depth as Paddo makes his mark. Also, a former Pie hopes a fresh start at Arden Street will help put 2020 behind him.
Maybe a lack of enjoyment at stages there. I mean, obviously you're stuck in a hub and you can't really get away from footy at all.
The Wallabies strike a chord in Sydney. Chelsea, top of the pops, but they had their moments. And Mercedes super sub continues to strut his stuff in Bahrain. That's all coming up, Alicia.
All right, look forward to it, Corey. We'll see you soon. 2 fathers who drowned trying to save their children near Noosa are being remembered for their selfless act. Their wives pay tribute next. Plus, the cleanup begins after Hillside's tumbleweed invasion. And a free-climbing daredevil takes his passion to new heights.
Violent cops.
If you're a policeman and you inflict family violence,
you'll get away with it.
Who terrorise their own families.
I just kept thinking the kids are going to die. He's going to kill the kids.
The stunning and explosive truth.
A family violence perpetrator was a family violence investigator.
It's absolutely a crisis of community safety.
On 60 Minutes that will shock Australia.
Why is it so hard to take on the police?
Short answer, because they're accountable to no one.
Next.
This festive season, it's time to turn your thoughts to the joy of giving. Click for Vic makes finding the perfect gift easy. Whether you're in Melbourne or Malakuta, our passionate makers and creators are busy bringing Victoria to you, just in time for the holidays. From craft work to cooking classes, seafood to sparkling wine, the whole state is at your fingertips. So choose Victorian, champion local, and get behind the people and businesses you love. Click for Vic and give the gift of Victoria this holiday season.
This Christmas, pick up Lindt Lindor pouches, 80 to 125 grams. Perfect for sharing or gifting. Now just $6 each. Helping you share the spirit of Christmas. Woolworths.
Watch what I do. Watch what I do. I see you looking. Watch what I do. Watch what I do.
do.
Mrs. Ram, he's sick.
There's no fighting it.
They're not taking my sheep.
We find those sheep, he is done.
Smells like sheep.
No sheep.
A lot of air freshener, eh? Oh, my lovely girl.
As a Lexus Encore member, we'll loan you a car when we're servicing yours and invite you to exclusive events, giving you the luxury of time. Welcome to Lexus Encore, our owner benefits program.
Shut up and take my money.
Nine News, brought to you by KFC. Still open and still frying. Get your KFC contact free today.
Queensland's Fraser Island fire emergency is worsening, with residents on the east coast told to evacuate as the escalating bushfire threatens to destroy homes. 3 separate fire fronts are creeping closer towards the town of Happy Valley, forcing the deployment of Queensland's largest firefighting tanker. The out-of-control blaze has been burning on the island for months. 2 families are tonight without fathers, both tragically losing their lives as they tried to save their kids. Sophie Upcroft spoke to the hero who pulled 4 people from the water, saving one of their sons and friends.
Driving down the sand of the Noosa North Shore, kids in the back seat, the Catbagan family singing together. Innocent bliss soon shattered by the tragedy about to befall them.
To bring in 2 bodies to shore, it was really hard to see the impact on the family.
Richard Catbagan, a smiling, proud husband and father of 3 from Dalby, on a regular camping trip with Denny Jade Kabala and his young family from Kingaroy. Both dads lose their lives drowning while trying to rescue their kids. Just up the coast at Tiwa Beach, their kids were swimming when they were caught in dangerous waters. Denny Jade and Richard jumped in to save them, but were taken in a current. Day trippers Alana and Brock Harris stopped to help. Brock pulled 4 people from the water, one by one.
I looked out and there it was. There were just 2 people on their stomachs in the water. I got over there as fast as I could with the board, and we pulled this man in and just started CPR as soon as we could. Danny had a pulse when we bring him in. We just couldn't hold on to it.
The swell almost taking Brock too. 5 months pregnant, Alana grabs a boogie board and rescues her fiancé just in time.
I turned around, she had a board for me to help me get out, and if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have gotten back out myself.
All the kids survived. Denny's son, Tygan, treated on scene and taken to hospital by rescue helicopter. Released today into the arms of his mother and siblings as they grieve for their dad.
It was very selfless for them to just go in and save that child. If they didn't do what they did, then that boy wouldn't be here.
It must have meant so much to the family, you just trying, you know?
That's right.
Yeah. Denny's wife, Cherry Apple, remembering him as a hero. Richard's wife, Sherry Lynn, posting on Facebook, "Goodbye, Richard. I love you so much." 2 families torn apart, trying desperately to save each other. Sophie Upcroft, 9 News.
A massive clean-up is underway after wild winds turned a hillside housing estate into a sea of tumbleweeds. After concerns were raised by residents, Melbourne City Council today provided them with garbage bags and hired a contractor to dispose of the grass. Strong wind gusts and dry weather is being blamed for yesterday's tumbleweed takeover. A historic church in New York has been gutted by fire, the huge flames reaching almost as high as the steeple they destroyed. The blaze started in an abandoned building next to the church, with 200 firefighters called in to contain it. The 19th century building held the city's Liberty Bell, but the fate of the bell is unknown. Well, Donald Trump has returned to the stage holding what's been dubbed a victory rally in the state of Georgia. In his biggest public appearance since losing the November election, the president refused to concede, claiming he was winning. US correspondent Alexis Daish.
Dancing on stage in the south of Georgia like nothing's changed, and talking like it too.
We're winning this election.
But he did hint he knows the game is up.
If you win Florida and if you win Ohio, in history, you've never lost an election. This has got to be our first time. But a friend of mine said, oh, don't worry about it, sir. You're way up in the polls. You'll win in 2024. I said, I don't want to wait till 2024. I want to go back 3 weeks.
Perhaps explaining why his first big event since declared the loser felt like a flashback to pre-election days. But as Donald Trump took the podium, his first words were about his own election.
Hello, Georgia. We did a great job. You know, we won Georgia, just so you understand. And we won Florida.
Proclaiming again and again it was rigged.
Actually, I won Wisconsin. If I lost, I would say I lost, and I'd go to Florida, and I'd take it easy, and I'd go around, and I'd say I did a good job. But you can't ever accept when they steal and rig and rob.
As he brought thousands together in a packed crowd when the state has just recorded the highest number of new cases in one day, the president showed sympathy for COVID-19 victims.
The warmest best wishes and love to all of those people and families suffering from the COVID pandemic. Vaccines are on their way, and we will make America great again.
This is unusual, to say the least. 9 days before the Electoral College is expected to make his loss official, this Trump rally feels as energetic as his last, capping off a presidential term that will go down in history as one unlike any other.
The American people voted for him to be our president for good.
Biden's cheated.
His fans backing him, but the very senator he travelled to support is talking like President-elect Biden is a done deal.
We have an opportunity to do something that maybe we lost in the last administration between Pelosi and Trump. But here we have Biden and McConnell.
And Mr. Trump's former advisor, Kellyanne Conway, is breaking ranks.
If you look at the vote totals in the Electoral College tally, it looks like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will prevail.
President-elect Biden has confirmed he too plans to campaign in Georgia ahead of the Senate runoffs on January 5. In Valdosta, Georgia, Alexis Daish, 9 News.
Well, there was no time to look at the stunning Barcelona view for this illegal free climber who managed to scale the city's iconic Agbar Tower in just 40 minutes before being arrested. The 24-year-old is not a stranger to heights or police. He spent 3 months in jail after free climbing the Shard skyscraper in London last year. All right, it's time for a look at the weather now with Madeline Slattery, and it was far from a summer's day today, Maddie.
That's right, Alicia. Not only was it very windy, but it was also unseasonably cool. Skies were mostly cloudy and there's been showers on and off throughout the day. After a low of 13 degrees, we climbed to a top of 21 very briefly in the city, which is 4 below the December average. But the gusty westerlies made it feel closer to the low teens for most of the day. Some of the strongest wind gusts recorded around Melbourne were 91 kilometres an hour at Avalon and 74 at Werribee. A severe weather warning is current for damaging winds for Geelong, parts of the Mornington Peninsula and the other areas shaded in orange. Peak wind gusts could reach 100 kilometres an hour overnight, ahead of another cold front that will cross the state tomorrow. It'll also bring more showers, colder temperatures, and there is even the chance of snow. So it looks like this wild weather will persist for at least the next couple of days. I'll have more on the forecast later in the bulletin, Alicia.
Snow, that is unexpected. All right, Maddie, we'll see you a bit later. Well, a hiker who fell 10 metres down a cliff has been forced to spend the night in the bush with his rescuers. That story for you next. Plus, why a stunt offering free cash turned violent. And an international spacecraft makes a historic landing in the outback.
Did you see Anthony leave school?
Wait, he hasn't come home yet?
In the town of suspects,
He's loved. He wouldn't run away.
their greatest secret will be exposed.
He's out there. We're gonna find him.
The event series, The Disappearance. 9 now. Your world of free entertainment.
This Christmas, show them you know them. With meaningful gifts from Officeworks. Officeworks, helping you make bigger things happen.
Bye, Cocky.
Bye-bye.
Finally. The way I see it, you've got two options in life.
settle for what you're given or speak up for what you deserve. Cricket. Got him. Winter is coming. See ya. Show me DiCaprio movies. You said it, Leo. Foxtel, now with voice control.
Tried Hungry Jack's Flame Grilled Big Jack? Then meet the new Chicken Big Jack with 2 crispy chicken patties and special sauce. Big Jack beef or Big Jack chicken. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Be safe these holidays. Buy 3, get 1 free. Bridgestone's Potenza and selected Yokohama 4x4 tyres. Up to $100 instant cashback on top passenger and SUV tyres.
Irresistibly smooth chocolate. Made to melt you. Lindor by the Lindt Master Chocolatier.
This Christmas is about the little somethings. A little something that says, I get you. A little something that is totally them. A little something to give them a bit of a laugh. A little something you know they've been wanting to try. Or a little something for when they've indulged. And now more than ever, a little something can really mean a lot. So find a little Christmas something at Priceline Pharmacy.
For me, the best pork this Christmas has to be Coles Aussie Pork. And all Coles brand fresh pork is 100% Aussie, 100% South Store free from farmers like Brett Edson and 100% free from artificial growth promoters. Because I believe pork that's raised better tastes better, especially at Christmas.
Coles brand pork leg boneless roast, just $7.50 a kilo.
Perfect succulent pork roast. Doesn't get any better than that. Coles. Value the Australian way.
We're announcing something big. The big deal is now on at Mazda, and we're putting value on 2020 plate vehicles front and centre, like Run-Out CX-9 Sport from $45,990 drive away. Search Mazda offers today.
An injured hiker has been rescued from dense bushland after falling 10 metres down a cliff. It took a large-scale rescue spanning over 2 days to bring the man to safety. Sally Geit has more.
Clinging to his rescuer, this bushwalker winched to safety, pulled deep from the undergrowth of Mount Superbus in Queensland's Southern Downs after a long night in thick bush.
It was quite steep. His brother couldn't see him, but after a few moments heard him, so he was very relieved.
The 29-year-old Brisbane man fell 10 metres down a cliff while hiking with his brother around 11:30 yesterday morning. Suffering a possible spinal and fractured ribs, the brothers managing to contact police. A delicate multi-agency search and rescue mission ensuing. Choppers overhead locating the duo around 3 p.m. on foot. SES volunteers, specialist rescue crews and a critical care paramedic battling the tough terrain to reach them. But the bush too dense to carry him out.
SEQ members were on their hands and knees yesterday climbing up the hill. Very relieved when SES volunteers along with the police helicopter located him and supported him through the night.
Stay there overnight, stabilise the patient.
Rescuers forced to wait until first light to resume. Both men are experienced hikers. The injured man even previously hiking Mount Everest's base camp. They were prepared for a 2-night journey in this dense bushland until the misadventure unfolded just 24 hours in. His 26-year-old brother winched out this morning before the chopper drops in a chainsaw.
They'll be clearing the undergrowth to allow a successful and safe winch.
RSUQ Life Flight managing just that, flying the 29-year-old to Toowoomba Base Hospital for treatment. Sally Geit, 9 News.
The streets of Paris have burned for the second weekend in a row as mass protests against a new security law turned violent. Demonstrators set fire to cars and smashed shop windows, police responding with tear gas. Nearly 100 rallies were planned across the country against the controversial bill which would outlaw taking photos of police on duty. A cash drop promotion at a New Zealand business has backfired and ended with a man being taken to hospital. Hundreds had flocked to the safety warehouse in Auckland with the promise of $100,000, but they soon realised the money was fake. Dozens of people then surrounded a company car, throwing food and were trying to break the windows. A little space capsule with a big job to help solve some mysteries of our solar system has today landed safely in the Australian outback. The precious cargo of the Japanese Hayabusa 2 is samples from deep within a far-flung asteroid. Mike Dalton reports.
Slashing across the South Australian sky, the fiery resolve of a 6-year-old space mission. The Japanese space probe Hayabusa 2 welcomed back to terra firma at mission control.
I feel like jumping around, but on the other hand, I feel relieved, so I want to sit in a couch.
Lifting off in 2014.
All systems are ready. Lift off.
The probe would spend its first 4 years elliptically chasing its target, an asteroid called Ryugu, arriving close to the diamond-shaped space transient in June 2018. It would first send rovers to gather surface data.
This is like something from a Hollywood movie.
Then it would twice shoot a charge into a facet of the asteroid's surface, scooping up the shattered substrata.
This material has not seen sunlight essentially since maybe even the time of the Earth's formation itself.
After undergoing this interplanetary biopsy, Ryugu would be left to return to its wanderings. And as morning dawned today, the retrieval helicopter would lift scientists into the scrub of the South Australian bush to take the lonely traveller called Hayabusa home, sequestered inside its metal shell, a pinch of asteroid.
To astronomers, to scientists, that is a world of information that we can explore. This is a mission into our own deep past.
A world of information on our place in the sun. Mike Dalton, 9 News.
Well, Melbourne's musical theatre industry has been a major casualty of the pandemic. The push for its revival next. Plus, Matthew Guy's new role revealed in a Liberal Party shuffle. And a tennis legend pays a visit to fire-affected Malakuta.
When the going gets tough, Tom gets tougher.
What day is it? Judgment Day.
Tom Cruise.
You do know what's happening to me.
Emily Blunt.
Training's over.
The action blockbuster. Edge of Tomorrow. Tonight on 9.
Discover better buys for kids at Target with 20% off Lego toys. Like Jungle Rescue Base $99 save $30 and Police Helicopter $45 save $14. Offer ends December 9. Conditions apply.
Looking for an excuse to buy a new Toyota? We've got the perfect one. It's play clearance time.
Make any excuse this play clearance. Get a 3.9% comparison rate across the Corolla, hatch and sedan range. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Clairol Natural Instincts. No ammonia, with 80% naturally derived ingredients. Say yes to coconut oil and aloe vera. Enhance your natural hair colour with Clairol Natural Instincts.
Look at you, no braces and all the internet you can handle. I wasn't so lucky.
Invis is not your parents' braces. Invis is predictable, less painful, more comfortable. Invisalign.
With crispy salmon Wellington and garlic butter lobster tails, you can go full Christmas for less at Aldi.
Dad, I hit somebody.
Don't tell anyone, not ever.
You've got your whole life ahead of you. We decide what the truth is.
The brand new event series, Your Honour, premieres tomorrow only on Stan. This week on Today, Melbourne's hotel quarantine reopens. How they'll keep Victorians safe. And the megastars keep coming. Nicolas Cage, Anne Hathaway, and the very funny James Corden. Plus, how to win free fuel for a year. 15 winners thanks to our friends at BP. That's tomorrow on Today on 9.
Former State Opposition Leader Matthew Guy will step back into an active role for the Liberal Party, a reshuffle landing the member for Bulletin the position of Shadow Minister for Finance, Jobs and Trade and Business Precincts.
We are taking on a debt profile like none other. In fact, adding $130 billion of debt in just 4 years is quite astounding. It's completely irresponsible to take on debt when you don't have a plan to repay any of it.
Mr Guy stepped down from the leadership after his loss to Premier Daniel Andrews in the 2018 state election. Well, the COVID-19 pandemic brought the curtain down on Melbourne's musical theatre industry more savagely than in any other state. But with restrictions finally easing, there's growing optimism reopening nights are not too far away. Jo Hall has the story.
When Melbourne began to shut down back in March, musical theatre was the first to go.
Suddenly I've got my
and will be one of the last industries to be revived.
Financially, it's been a complete disaster, especially for commercial producers.
The near 9-month closure has brought a huge financial toll and an emotional one as well.
That's our bread and butter. To have all that taken away is pretty heartbreaking and it's been pretty hard.
Immediate casualties of the lockdown, Shrek, Come From Away and Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Seasons that were cancelled, Dolly Parton's 9 to 5, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and John Foreman's much-anticipated Midnight, the Cinderella musical.
I was going to be doing a production actually next door at Her Majesty's Theatre, a brand new Australian work which I was looking forward to called Midnight.
There's no guarantee of when the next job is going to come.
Unlike cinemas, the cost of staging a musical theatre production employing hundreds of people daily means playing to big audiences for it to be viable.
Truly, we have to open at 100% capacity. And that's because, you know, the sheer economics of opening a show.
The industry has been working to develop a COVID-safe plan to get the show back on the road.
If you're doing all the right things, if everyone's getting temperature checked, if everyone is wearing a mask, sanitising, I can't see how the spread would happen in a theatre.
Veteran of 3 decades on Broadway and the West End, Adrian Storey is banking on Chess to open at the Regent Theatre next year.
I, for one, wouldn't be risking my entire business on opening a show only to be closed down again 4 or 5 weeks later.
With Brisbane Musical Theatre back on stage to full houses and Sydney playing to around 50% capacity, shows like Pippin, with Frozen opening just before Christmas, pressure has ramped up in Melbourne.
We can get on planes and we can go to sporting events. Why we can't find a way?
If state premiers and health officials can work with us and take the risk like we are risking, we can open and we can operate in a truly safe environment.
In the meantime, for performers like Rob, necessity has been the mother of invention. He set up an inside broadcasting unit in his lounge room for Zoom Christmas performances with a stage mate.
Joe, we've even got a script. Like, it's full musical theatre.
It's believed Harry Potter and the Cursed Child will be the first production back on stage here at the Princess Theatre, followed by Come From Away, Chess, Magic Mike and Moulin Rouge, a veritable feast for starved theatre lovers.
There's something truly unique about a shared experience of going to the theatre. And that truly is what people miss, especially in Melbourne.
I mean, who doesn't love the escapism of going to see the theatre?
Jo Hall, 9 News.
Australian tennis legend John Fitzgerald has hit the court with bushfire-affected Malakuta residents as part of the Rally as One initiative. The program is aimed at developing resilience in kids, but also helping communities to rebuild after the summer's bushfires.
It was all pretty sobering, you know, and to see it firsthand is an experience and I think gives you an even greater appreciation of what some of these local people went through.
The global tennis community raised more than $6 million in January with the help of the sport's biggest names. A wonderful effort indeed. All right, now returning with the day's sport, here's Corey Norris.
Thank you, Alicia. Up next, we're live with the latest from the Australian camp. There's a captaincy shake-up, but Paddo proves he's more than ready if he gets a test call-up. A Nuru ready to enjoy the fruits of his labour. Ricardo dejected as Mercedes sets the pace in Bahrain. And a star striker that would love his time again.
These snakes are killing me.
Kylie's sweet addiction.
You're in heaven, aren't you?
I am in heaven.
Or sugar hell.
Oh, where do you start? Why snakes? Oh, sorry, you get your mouth full.
A hardcore habit that's killing Kylie.
That's your body weight in sugar consumed in a couple of months.
I feel so ashamed.
The man who promises to break this mum's craving in just 3 minutes.
Goodbye forever.
A Current Affair Monday.
Every side is the best side of the Hyundai Tucson, with a bonus up to $1,500 during Hyundai's 2020 model run-out event. Test drive the Tucson at your local Hyundai showroom today.
Discover the flavour of Christmas with our exclusive Australian-made gold dessert range. Some infused with native ingredients like gold pear and ribery fruit mince tarts. Sharing the spirit of Christmas. Woolworths.
There's a place for us, somewhere a place for us. Peace and quiet and open air. Wait for us somewhere. There's a time for us, a time and place for us. Hold my hand and we're halfway there. Hold my hand and I'll take you there. Somehow, someday.
Boys.
Watch Sky Racing live, anywhere. Now available on Sportsbet.
Save up to 10% on your first year's premium when you get a new Allianz home insurance policy online. And join thousands of satisfied Allianz customers. Search for your quote today.
Masters of Flip, Courtney and Dave star in a brand new series.
Incredible.
Making it home with Courtney and Dave, tonight on 9 Live.
Australia will be without Mitch Starc for the remainder of the T20 series against India after he was granted leave due to a family illness. Live now to Ayrton Woolley in the newsroom. Ayrton, it comes as another quick delivered selectors a reminder today.
Certainly did, Corey. That was James Pattinson, fourth in line in terms of Australia's fast bowling stocks, behind Mitch Starc, Pat Cummins and Josh Hazlewood. But today he certainly signalled he could play a big part in this summer test series against India. He snared 3 for 58 in Australia A's tour match against India's, second string side with some of their test players. They reached 8 for 237. This was Travis Head on James Pattinson.
His energy and coming down breeze there, he bowled beautifully, bowled a great length. He was backed up well by all the rest of them, but he headed the attack and was able to make some really crucial breakthroughs for us.
Indians Ajinkya Rahane scored an unbeaten 108. Will Pukovski and Joe Burns will get their chance in the middle tomorrow. And some breaking news from the Australian camp tonight. Aaron Finch ruled out of tonight's T20 clash against India. He suffered that hip problem in the field on Friday night. That means Matthew Wade will tonight captain Australia. Mark Taylor had been among the names to call for Steve Smith to return to that role, but he's been made to wait for any leadership return. Corey?
OK, thank you, Ayrton. Well, North Melbourne recruit Jaden Stevenson admits he was thrilled to learn that David Noble would be his new coach in 2021. The former Magpie says he's ready to make his mark at Arden Street when he reports for his first day of work tomorrow. Alicia reports.
Jaden Stevenson is the first to admit his heart wasn't in season 2020.
Maybe a lack of enjoyment at stages there. I mean, obviously you're stuck in a hub and you can't really get away from footy at all.
But it's a very different story as the ambassador for Heart Kids, a charity close to home for the 20-year-old who discovered he was carrying a genetic heart condition on the eve of being drafted.
I've obviously had this dream to play AFL football my whole life, and then unfortunately at the last hurdle it could have come to a stop.
And so after a less than fruitful year, the 2018 Rising Star is ready for a fresh start under new North Melbourne coach David Noble. And he's already filled with some confidence after the former Lion opened the door for a potential midfield move.
I'm certainly open to wherever he wants to play me, whether that be up on the wing or forward. I'll even go down back if he needs me to.
Stevenson has made it no secret he's out to prove his old side wrong, and tomorrow is when the work begins. He'll join his new teammates here at Arden Street for the start of pre-season.
I'd like to train a lot of the time with the mids and sort of get used to getting the ball in traffic and having to make those decisions.
Alicia, 9 News.
The Wallabies have received high praise for a spine-tingling rendition of the national anthem ahead of their clash with Argentina in Sydney. Led by 16-year-old schoolgirl Olivia Fox, the squad sang an Indigenous version of Advance Australia Fair. But in wet conditions, the Wallabies couldn't top it off with a win, drawing with the Pumas 16-all. Well, Chelsea has climbed on top of the Premier League, but not before a few nervy moments against Leeds. The Blues fell a goal behind early on before this incredible... They eventually found their groove, claiming a 3-1 victory. Manchester United, meanwhile, also came from behind to beat West Ham by the same scoreline.
Oh, what a finish from poor Pogba.
United currently sit fourth, a point ahead of Manchester City, who defeated Fulham 2-0. Well, Mercedes fill-in George Russell will start from second on the grid for tonight's Grand Prix in Bahrain. His temporary teammate, Valtteri Bottas, set the pace in qualifying, with Russell just 2/100ths of a second behind.
Here comes his teammate George Russell, and it is a Mercedes 1 and 2 on the front row.
If you told me last week I'll be qualifying P2 on the grid next week, I think I wouldn't believe you.
A frustrated Daniel Ricciardo will start from 7th. He's only got 2 more races for his team Renault there before he joins a new team next year.
He'll be looking forward to that, won't he? All right, Corey, thank you very much for that. Maddie is back at this now with more on the weather, and there's some more wet weather on the way, Maddie.
There is, Alicia. Showers will increase overnight, and then unfortunately it'll be even colder to start the working week. There's even the chance of storms and small hail, and after the break I'll have all the details.
Violent cops.
You're a policeman and you inflict family violence.
You'll get away with it. 60 minutes that will shock Australia. Next.
The boys are back in the slutty sequel.
This whole place is going to blow like a frog on a hot plate.
Ghostbusters 2, tonight on 9 Go.
Guess who's back? But you never left. Yes, I did. I rose from the dead. And now I'm here to slay them with flows and some punchlines that'll go over your head. Drop, turn back, I'm a caution in red. I'm your worst nightmare, stood over your sled. So them girl try con me, but I smell defeat like a hole in your threads. Wow, she's sick and she's bad. She sings and she raps, she's crinkle and wow.
Go full Christmas with a feast for less. Aldi. Good. Different.
Welcome to Melbourne City Lexus, Melbourne's flagship state-of-the-art Lexus dealership. Experience exceptional customer service and a wide range of luxury Lexus models in our multi-level showroom. Experience amazing at Melbourne City Lexus, 501 Swanston Street.
Hey mate, have you seen the Sportsbet app now has Sky Racing?
Really?
Yep, live racing from all around Australia right there on your phone.
Oh, I'm liking this.
Yeah, just one tap and you're streaming from Randwick, Caulfield, Ascot, Dapto Dogs.
Righto, mate, I get it. What are you, the Sportsbet guy now or something?
I actually do a pretty good impression.
This is new. Sky Racing, now available on the Sportsbet app.
Bloody hell, that's pretty good.
I told you.
Tonight, I'll be eating an acai bowl with almond granola and organic vanilla protein powder. What about you, little fella? You want a treat?
Tonight, I'll be eating a spicy vindaloo with 10 papadums.
Legend.
Yummy.
What even are you?
A 40-year-old bath mat with a hand up its butt.
Should probably talk about those legs too.
Yeah, right after we talk about your jaw.
As a Lexus Encore Platinum member, your time is our priority. We'll park your car for you, loan you one when you travel, deliver you one when we service yours, even swap yours for a sportier one, giving you the luxury of time. Welcome to Lexus Encore Platinum, our owner benefits program.
At Coles, we're helping lower the cost of easy desserts with a Coles Classic Pavlova. Down to just $5.70. Perfect with Coles Aussie Thick and Cream, just $3. Coles, value the Australian way.
Australia's harsh sun is proven to visibly age women by up to 20 years faster than those in the US. That's why you need sunscreen every day. Ask your Chemist Warehouse pharmacist which sunscreen is right for your skin.
High noon on High Street. Thousands of parking spots swallowed up by outdoor dining.
Honestly, this is way over the top.
Business owners blocked from their customers.
At least 50% of the spaces have gone.
The race for space on our shopping streets.
And it's bedlam in the street.
9 News tomorrow.
Hello again, and it was a cooler and windy end to the weekend across Melbourne. After an overnight low of 13 degrees, we climbed to a top of 21 in the city, and maximums right around the suburbs were below average. It was just 14 degrees in Ferny Creek. Kilmore reached a top of 18, and it was 19 in Frankston, Rosebud and Scoresby. Light showers have been on and off throughout the day, mostly around the eastern suburbs, but so far totals have been less than 2 millimetres. But we do have more on the way. There's been patchy cloud and showers across all districts of the state today, and it was much cooler than yesterday too. It dropped below 0 degrees at Mount Buller and Falls Creek this morning, cold enough for some light snow flurries. Our maximums struggled to climb much above the high teens in the south and only reached the low to mid-20s elsewhere. It was 21 in Wodonga, and that is 9 degrees below the December average. But gusty westerly winds have made it feel at least a few degrees colder. The strongest wind gusts recorded so far today were 130 kilometres an hour at Wilson's Prom, 102 at Mount Hotham and 91 at Avalon. A severe weather warning is current for damaging winds. Peak gusts up to 100 kilometres an hour are possible tonight and tomorrow morning ahead of an approaching cold front. That system is extending towards the Bight at the moment, and it'll cross the southeast of the country tomorrow. It'll bring an increase in wet and windy weather to Victoria, but the air behind the front will be cold enough for snow to fall as low as 1,100 metres by tomorrow night. And in fact, blizzard conditions are even possible for the alpine areas of the state. There is also a sheep graziers warning, so it'll be a pretty grim start to the working week. There'll be showers across all districts and the chance of storms too over the southwest and the central and South Gippsland coasts. Ballarat is heading for just 14 degrees. It'll reach 15 in Hamilton, and Warrnambool and Aireys Inlet can expect a top of 16 degrees. It'll be a partly cloudy day in Melbourne with showers and the chance of storms in the early morning and again from the afternoon. Winds will turn west to southwesterly to 40 kilometres an hour in the morning. The cold front is due to cross the city around 3 a.m. It'll be colder than today with maximums in the high teens and up to 15 millimetres of rain possible in the outer eastern suburbs and the Dandenongs. After a low of 11 degrees, the city is heading for a top of 18 with increasing showers and the chance of storms. There might be small hail on Tuesday. Showers will ease again, but we are expecting a maximum of just 18 degrees. Much warmer on Wednesday with a top of 24 degrees, and it will be mostly sunny, then back down to 18 with showers on Thursday with another cold front. The end of the working week is looking much brighter. It'll be 21 and partly cloudy on Friday, 27 with lovely sunny skies on Saturday, and the warmest day of the week will be next Sunday, heading for a top of 29 degrees in the city. But tomorrow, a top of 18 with showers, and with all that wind, the feels-like temperature will be into the single figures. So a wintry day ahead, Alicia, but the light at the end of the tunnel is next weekend.
That is good news. All right, Maddie, thank you very much for that. And that is 9 News this Sunday. I hope you have a great evening. For now, good night.